We just now touched down in Havana, Cuba, after flying all night to come from LA to Miami to here. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the process was getting into the country because I was a little bit nervous and you might want to know about it too. Cuba is going to be a little bit different because there's a little bit extra background work that I need to do because of the differences in relations between Cuba and the United States, as well as the embargo and things like that. I'm going to take you along with me today as I pack and prep and prepare to head out to Cuba, which will be my first country of 2025. As far as traveling to Cuba, there's a couple things that you're going to need that are a little bit different than most countries that you're going to end up traveling to. That's going to include your visa, including a De Vaqueros form, and you have to make sure you have your visa. It's an e-visa, so you send it off beforehand and you pay for it. I believe it was $85. And then make sure you have everything screenshotted, if not printed, because it's always good to be able to look back at that anywhere you travel, but specifically what I'm going to handle for Cuba. I'm going to make sure that I have my health insurance that covers outside of the United States. I'm going to obviously make sure I have my passport with me, as well as making sure I have enough cash on me, kind of distributed, spread out. I'm going to just take USD, but I also want to get it in smaller bills because I'm figuring larger bills, when you travel in general, a little bit difficult. My brother has a whole sidebar story about how he kind of got scammed in Mexico by having a $100 bill. But we're going to handle that. I also wanted to pick up a couple things to bring with me to Cuba. As I read, it's like something really cool to do because the embargoes make it really difficult to get items, especially for regular everyday Cubans outside of Havana and everything else. And also I want to make sure I'm packing extremely thoroughly because I know that it'll be difficult for me to get things outside of Cuba as well. So we're gonna do all that today and you're gonna come along with me. So first things first, we're headed to the bank. I'm gonna make sure that I get some cash out. I'm thinking, what I've done from research, about 100 or so per day, because the only thing we're paying for is transportation and food. But also I'm gonna try and get it in smaller bills, and that way I can exchange it a little bit easier because going in with large bills is just a pain in the ass. To be honest with you, I want to be really covered in the snack category because I'm a little bit weary about the whole food situation. I've heard things, I've read things, so might be going a little bit overboard, but I'd rather be prepared in the snacks department. When I was reading a lot of the blogs and stuff, they talked about how it's a beneficial thing for tourists coming into the country to bring a couple like everyday necessity style items. So I'm just gonna pick a couple up from the store here really quick and then distribute them when I get there. Okay, back home, a couple hours till takeoff, and I feel like I need to pack 3 things specifically. I need to make sure my actual clothes are ready to go. I need to make sure my carry-on bag is ready to go with all of my electronics, and I need to make sure my snacks are ready to go. So let's get into this. Hi, Taylor.
I'm gonna give you this back.
Thank you.
And the last thing is.
So if we do this here, will we have to do this in Miami as well when you leave? Or
No, you should be fine.
Okay, so we'll just be checked in.
Don't quote me though, but
Okay.
you know, everybody's got different.
It's alright. I got all my stuff,
And
so.
Larissa is your first name, right?
Yes. That was the process of getting all my visa information in because obviously going to Cuba is an international destination. I was wondering if they were going to do it in Miami, and I might have to go through things again in Miami, but just, you know, at LAX, they had to check my visa, check my return date, because I did end up getting 2 one-way tickets, so I think that was also a little bit of like a flag in the system, and obviously check my passport. So good information to know when you head into Cuba. I got pretty nervous about having enough cash, especially when I realized that the excursions that you book through Airbnb, you pay them in cash as well, which didn't know that before leaving, so that's important to know. I thought my cash was just having to cover the food that we ate and like transportation and stuff. But now that I know it's covering excursions as well, I'm nervous. So thinking I'm gonna grab some more cash. We did it, we're here.
Made it.
Oh, it's really attracting my face. It's actually a pretty quick process, and I'm so tired. So it was actually a lot smoother and more seamless than I thought. You had to present your Divaqueros form first. So that's one that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. So Divaqueros form that you already pre-filled out, you fill it out within 48 hours of arriving. It's more so like the tourist information for being in Havana. Like it has nothing to do with the United States government. It's not a visa, it's your Divaqueros form. It's also where you indicate whether or not you've been around anyone who has COVID and or any sicknesses and things like that. So to guarantee that you're not bringing it into the country. So you go to the first desk where they show your barcode, basically saying that you have your Divaqueros form, and then you go from there to regular like passport control, and they're gonna stamp your passport as well as look at your visa to get into the country. This is for Americans, by the way. And then from there, I believe we went through one more metal detector to get out, but we didn't have to like show anything. And then we picked up our bags, and then we headed out to, you know, the regular public area of the airport. But one more thing that was interesting was when we got our bags, we had to give them our bag tags, like their kind of receipt that you get for your bag. So don't throw that away if you're coming to Cuba. I had to take a break because that was actually Valentina at the door. She helped us exchange our cash, and so she helped us exchange it. So everywhere tells you not to exchange cash at the airport because the exchange rate is bad. And you might be thinking, oh, okay, you know, it's bad, okay, whatever. But no, it's really bad in comparison to what you can get on the free market or what you can get from individuals kind of here once you get deeper into the city. That's something that's really good to arrange with your Airbnb host, or, you know, get the, whoever runs your Airbnb can tell you more about that when you get here, because obviously the rate is flexible, but basically it's more than a 50% increase. So she said from the black market, we're gonna get $260 back for 100 US dollars. I forgot that ratio, it's hard to explain. But anyways, so we just got back, we took a quick little nap, and now we're gonna get ready to go on a walking tour. So I'm gonna take you around with me for my first impressions of Cuba, and then that'll be it for this vlog.